Good morning, everyone. I want you to take a moment and think about your life. Imagine yourself 1 year from today, 5 years from now, or even 10 years down the line. Where do you see yourself? Yes. Are you living the life you dream of? Or are you merely drifting through days, hoping things will magically fall into place? Here's a little secret. It doesn't take hours, months, or even years to start changing your life. Sometimes all it takes is just 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes might seem small, but if used wisely, it becomes a powerful force that can completely rebuild your future. Life, you see, is like a bank account. Every day you deposit something, and small deposits made consistently create enormous wealth over time. The same principle applies to your mind, your body, your relationships, and your dreams. Take 30 minutes to read a book that expands your mind. Take 30 minutes to exercise, moving your body and energizing your spirit. Take 30 minutes to plan your goals, reflect on your actions, and course correct. 30 minutes might seem tiny in the moment, but over a year, that adds up to over 180 hours of dedicated growth. It's not about grand gestures or waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time never comes. What matters is consistent action, the small steps you take every single day. And these small steps, when compounded, can lead to extraordinary transformations. Think about someone you admire, someone who seems to have it all together. Do you think they achieved success overnight? No, they invested a little time every day, nurtured the skills, strengthened their mind, and slowly, steadily, their life changed. And here's the beauty. The 30 minutes you invest in yourself is not just about your future. It impacts your present too. You become calmer, more focused, more disciplined. You start noticing opportunities you didn't see before. Your confidence grows, your relationships improve, and your dreams start to feel tangible rather than distant. So, today, I invite you to commit to yourself. Start small. Just 30 minutes a day, devoted to what truly matters to you. Protect this time fiercely. Guard it as you would guard your most valuable treasure, because in reality it is. Remember, you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, and you are not your fears. You are the choices you make today. And if you choose to invest even half an hour every day in your growth, your future will thank you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Your life is a garden. Water it every day, tend to it with care, and slowly, steadily, you will witness a transformation so beautiful that one day you will look back and wonder why you ever doubted the power of just 30 minutes a day. Thought small, consistent actions matter more than most people realize. Life often gives us the illusion that big, dramatic changes are what shape our destiny. That we need a monumental event, a sudden breakthrough, or a massive decision to steer our lives in the right direction. But the truth is far simpler and far more empowering. It is the small, consistent actions repeated day after day that ultimately define the life we live. Imagine a river cutting through solid rock. The water itself isn't violent or forceful, and each individual droplet is weak and fleeting. Yet over time, with patience and persistence, that gentle flow carves canyons, forms valleys, and shapes landscapes. Our daily choices function in the same way. The little things we do, the tiny steps we take, when performed consistently, compound into monumental transformations. Consider a person who wants to learn a new skill, like playing the piano or mastering a language. They may be intimidated first, thinking, I don't have enough time, or it will take years before I notice any improvement. But here's where the magic of small, consistent actions comes in. Practicing for just 30 minutes a day might seem inconsequential. In that moment, it feels like a drop in the ocean, a small sacrifice among countless other demands. Yet 30 minutes each day amounts to more than 180 hours in a single year. Within that time, a person who practices diligently will see progress that surprises even themselves. The compound effect works silently, almost invisibly, but it works relentlessly. Over time, those daily efforts accumulate, and the learner who once struggled to hit a single note or construct a sentence can suddenly play melodies with ease or converse fluently. The same principle applies to our health and fitness. It is tempting to believe that only extreme workouts or grueling exercise routines yield results. Many people start strong, spend hours in the gym for a few weeks, and then falter, disappointed by the lack of immediate transformation. There's a lack of immediate transformation. But those who commit to consistent, manageable actions, walking, stretching, or performing a short exercise routine every day, gradually strengthen their bodies. Their endurance grows, their energy rises, and even small improvements in posture or strength create noticeable changes in their confidence and overall well-being. Each day's effort may seem insignificant, but the steady momentum creates a force too powerful to ignore. Small, consistent actions also shape our mindset and character. Reading just a few pages each day, journaling, meditating, or reflecting can transform the way we think, perceive, and respond to life. One moment of learning or insight might seem trivial in isolation, but over weeks and months, these actions accumulate into wisdom, patience, and clarity of purpose. Our habits, after all, are the reflection of repeated choices, and they define who we become. The most remarkable part of this principle is its accessibility. You do not need a perfect plan, unlimited resources, or extraordinary talent to begin. What you need is commitment to showing up even when the results are invisible. What feels small today becomes the foundation for greatness tomorrow. Greatness tomorrow. Just like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of stone, each daily effort, no matter how minor, brings the masterpiece of your life closer into focus. Ultimately, small, consistent actions matter because they give you control over your future. They turn overwhelming dreams into achievable steps, build momentum when motivation fades, and quietly, steadily rebuild life. One deliberate, persistent choice at a time. What may seem like a tiny effort today could be the difference between a life of regret and a life of fulfillment tomorrow. In a world obsessed with instant results, remember this truth. The small, consistent actions you take every day are the real architects of your destiny. Time is the most valuable currency we have, yet ironically, it is the one we often spend without much thought. People treat it like an endless resource, as if there will always be more tomorrow to chase dreams, improve themselves, or take steps toward a better life. But the truth is, time is finite, and every day we are either investing it wisely or spending it carelessly. Thinking of time as a daily investment transforms how we approach life. Just like money, if we invest small amounts consistently, the returns compound exponentially, shaping our future in ways that seem almost magical. Imagine a person who decides to spend 30 minutes every morning reading or learning something new. At first, it might feel like a tiny investment, almost negligible compared to the hours they spend on entertainment, social media, or trivial tasks. But over weeks and months, those 30 minutes grow into a treasure trove of knowledge, skills, and perspectives. The mind, like a fertile field, yields abundant results when nourished consistently. The person who invests in their mind each day becomes sharper, more confident, and increasingly capable of making decisions that align with their goals. Time in this sense is not just passing, it is compounding, creating value for every moment invested. This idea applies equally to physical health. A person who spends 30 minutes walking, stretching, or exercising every day may not see immediate transformation. Friends might comment, "It's just a walk. Does it really matter?" And yet, over the course of a year, those small daily investments in their body lead to improved endurance, increased strength, better energy levels, and even a longer, healthier life. Every minute spent consciously taking care of your body is like depositing money into an account that pays lifelong dividends. The key is consistency. Sporadic effort rarely produces significant returns, but a steady daily investment turns ordinary individuals into extraordinary ones. Time as a daily investment also applies to relationships. If we dedicate just a small portion of our day to connecting with family, friends, or mentors, we build bonds that are resilient, meaningful, and lasting. A 5-minute conversation, a thoughtful message, or simply listening attentively can accumulate into deep trust and loyalty over the years. Relationships, like compound interest, flourish when nurtured daily. Ignoring them, on the other hand, slowly erodes the connections we value most, often without us realizing it until it is too late. Even personal growth and emotional well-being are affected by how we invest our time. Spending 30 minutes reflecting, journaling, or meditating each day may feel insignificant. But over months, it rewires our thinking, reduces stress, and increases clarity. Every conscious investment of time and self-awareness adds a layer of resilience that prepares us for challenges and helps us respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. The remarkable thing about treating time as a daily investment is its accessibility. Everyone has the same 24 hours. What differentiates those who achieve their dreams from those who drift through life is not talent or luck, it is how they invest these hours. A person who consistently invests even small slices of time is quietly building a future that will reward them far beyond what seems possible today. In essence, every day is a choice. You can spend your time passively, letting it slip away, or you can invest it with intention, knowing that every small deposit adds up to a life of growth, fulfillment, and achievement. Time is neutral, it gives no favors. But when treated as a daily investment, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for rebuilding your future. What you do with 30 minutes today may not seem significant, but in the grand story of your life, it could be the turning point that changes everything. When we talk about rebuilding our future, it is easy to focus only on external achievements, a better job, more money, or social recognition. Yet true transformation begins within. Our mind, body, and spirit are intact, forming the foundation for everything we do. Neglect one, and the other suffer. Invest in all three consistently, and you unlock a level of energy, clarity, and fulfillment that makes even the most ambitious goals attainable. Just 30 minutes a day, when devoted intentionally, can strengthen this connection in profound ways. Consider the mind. Every thought, every idea, every decision starts here. If we feed it with negativity, distraction, or meaningless content, it becomes cluttered and overwhelmed. But dedicate 30 minutes daily to reading something enriching, reflecting, or learning a new skill, and you begin to expand your mental horizons. The mind becomes sharper, more creative, and more resilient to challenges. Small daily investments of mental energy compound like interest in a bank account, gradually turning you into someone who can think clearly, solve problems efficiently, and make decisions aligned with your highest aspirations. The body, too, is the vessel through which we experience life. You cannot achieve your dreams if your health is weak or your energy is low. 30 minutes of intentional movement, whether it is a brisk walk, yoga, stretching, or exercise, recharges the body and the mind simultaneously. Physical activity releases endorphins, reduces stress, and improves focus, while also teaching discipline and patience. Even a short daily practice strengthens more than muscles. It reinforces the belief that you are capable of consistent effort, that small actions accumulate into real change. Over months and years, these 30-minute sessions transform not just your physical appearance, but your confidence, vitality, and sense of self-worth. And then there is the spirit, the often overlooked dimension of our lives. Spirit is not necessarily religious. It is the part of us that craves purpose, meaning, and inner peace. Taking 30 minutes a day to meditate, pray, or simply sit in silence allows the spirit to recharge and aligns your actions with your core values. It helps you see beyond immediate frustrations, to view life with calmness and clarity, and to make choices that are in harmony with your true self. Spiritually grounded individuals experience less anxiety, greater patience, and a sense of contentment that no external achievement can provide. What is truly remarkable is how these three, mind, body, and spirit, reinforce one another. When the mind is sharp, the body is energized, and the spirit is aligned, everything else in life becomes easier. Decision-making improves, relationships flourish, and obstacles feel less daunting. Conversely, neglect one area and the imbalance becomes visible. A stressed mind limits physical performance. A fatigued body clouds the mind. A disconnected spirit amplifies anxiety. The power of 30 minutes a day lies in its accessibility. It is not overwhelming. It does not require a complete life overhaul. But when invested intentionally across these three dimensions, it becomes a catalyst for transformation. Over weeks and months, you begin to notice subtle changes. Better focus, steadier emotions, improved health, and a sense of inner harmony. These small, consistent investments grow silently but relentlessly, laying the foundation for a future that is stronger, richer, and more fulfilling. Ultimately, the mind-body-spirit connection reminds us that life is holistic. Success is not just about what you achieve, It is about how fully you live. Investing 30 minutes a day in nurturing all three ensures that you are not merely surviving, but thriving, and that the future you are building is balanced, sustainable, and deeply rewarding. The smallest intentional effort today can shape the trajectory of your entire life one step at a time. One of the greatest obstacles to progress is perfectionism. We often tell ourselves, I will start when the timing is perfect, or I need to have everything figured out before I take the first step. We wait for flawless conditions, flawless ideas, or flawless abilities. And in the process, days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, while life passes us by. The truth is, perfectionism is not a friend. It is a subtle form of procrastination disguised as high standards. It convinces us that only the ideal moment or the perfect effort is worthy of action. But in reality, waiting for perfection ensures that nothing ever gets done. Consider the life of a writer who dreams of completing a book. They spend years polishing the first chapter, rearranging sentences, tweaking words, and editing paragraphs endlessly. Each attempt to make it perfect delays progress, and the book remains unfinished. Meanwhile, someone else, who is willing to start imperfectly, writes a little every day. Their chapters may have errors, their sentences may be rough, but they finish their book. In the end, the imperfect action triumphs over the flawless inaction. The lesson is clear: progress, not perfection, is what rebuilds your future. Perfectionism is especially dangerous because it attacks the small, consistent actions that are most powerful. We hesitate to read, exercise, meditate, or learn because we feel we are not doing it well enough or long enough. We fear judgment, failure, or the opinion of others. But the reality is that 30 minutes of imperfect effort every day, reading a chapter, walking briskly, writing a rough draft, or reflecting on your day, is far more transformative than waiting for a perfect hour or a perfect environment. Life rewards action, not hesitation. Every small, imperfect step compounds over time into remarkable growth. Eliminating perfectionism also frees us from fear. Fear and perfectionism are closely intertwined. The desire to do everything flawlessly often masks the fear of failing or being inadequate. When we let go of the impossible standard of perfection, we stop fearing mistakes. We start to embrace them as learning opportunities, understanding that every error teaches us something valuable. A stumble is not a failure, it is feedback. A misstep is not a loss, it is a lesson. This shift in perspective transforms setbacks into stepping stones and challenges into opportunities. Moreover, letting go of perfectionism allows us to enjoy the journey. Too often, we are so focused on the flawless destination that we miss the beauty of growth, learning, and small wins along the way. Life is not just about the end result. It is about the daily process, the habits we form, and the character we build. By giving ourselves permission to be imperfect, we embrace the present moment and appreciate the small victories that accumulate quietly but powerfully over time. Finally, eliminating perfectionism nurtures resilience and self-compassion. It allows us to start, to continue, and to rebuild, even when conditions are far from ideal. Every small, consistent action we take, imperfect as it may be, becomes a brick in the foundation of our future. Over weeks, months, and years, these bricks create a life of substance, purpose, and fulfillment, while the pursuit of perfection leaves many potential lives unrealized. The key to transformation is simple. Start where you are with what you have and commit to showing up daily. Accept imperfection as part of the process, embrace small steps, and trust that consistent effort, however imperfect, will lead to extraordinary results. Life is not about being perfect, it is about being persistent. And persistence, free from the chains of perfectionism, is the true path to rebuilding your future. One deliberate, imperfect action at a time. Reflection is one of the most underrated tools for personal growth. We live in a world that glorifies constant activity, multitasking, and it doing more. And yet, in all this movement, we often forget to pause and look inward. Reflection is the moment when we step back from the busyness of life to examine our thoughts, actions, and decisions. It is the pause that allows us to learn from the past, to understand the present, and plan wisely for the future. 30 minutes of daily reflection may seem small, almost negligible. But it is in these quiet moments that transformation quietly takes root. Think of reflection like cleaning a pair of glasses. If we keep wearing them while they're covered in dust and smudges, everything we see is blurry, distorted, and unclear. But when we take the time to wipe them clean, suddenly the world comes into focus. Reflection works in the same way for our mind and life. By reviewing our day, asking honest questions, and observing our patterns, we gain clarity. We begin to see where we went wrong, where we succeeded, and where small adjustments can have a big impact. Without this habit, we are likely to repeat mistakes, miss opportunities, and drift through life on autopilot. Consider a student preparing for a challenging exam. Simply studying without reviewing their performance may give them temporary knowledge, but it doesn't guarantee improvement. However, a student who dedicates time each day to reflect on what they learned, where they struggled and how they learned, where they struggled and how they can do better tomorrow, will improve steadily. This reflection allows for insight and adjustment, turning effort into mastery. The same principle applies to every area of life. Reflection transforms random actions into deliberate progress and wasted effort into meaningful growth. Reflection also strengthens self-awareness, which is the foundation of emotional intelligence. When we pause to reflect on our emotions, decisions, and reactions, we begin to understand why we respond a certain way. We notice triggers, patterns, and habits that we may have overlooked in the rush of daily life. This awareness is powerful because it gives us the ability to choose consciously instead of reacting impulsively. A person who reflects regularly is less likely to make repeated mistakes, more capable of handling challenges calmly, and better equipped to cultivate meaningful relationships. Another important aspect of reflection is gratitude. Daily reflection encourages us to pause and acknowledge the positives in our lives, even amidst challenges. Writing down or simply thinking about the things we are grateful for shifts our mindset from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to appreciation. This simple practice improves mental health, builds resilience, and fuels motivation to keep moving forward. Finally, reflection allows us to align our actions with our goals and values. It is easy to get lost in the noise of life, doing things that seem urgent but are not truly important. 30 minutes of reflection each day helps us evaluate whether our choices are taking us closer to our desired future or further away. It creates a feedback loop that continually nudges us toward improvement. Over time, these small daily reflections accumulate, leading to smarter decisions, better habits, and a life that is intentional rather than accidental. In essence, reflection is the quiet force that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It gives clarity, direction, and purpose to our daily actions. By investing just 30 minutes a day to pause, review, and learn, we strengthen our ability to navigate life wisely, make meaningful progress, and rebuild a future that aligns with our deepest aspirations. Without reflection, even the busiest life can feel aimless. With it, every day becomes an opportunity to grow, improve, and move closer to the life we truly desire. One of the fastest ways to grow and rebuild your future is by observing and modeling the people who have already achieved what you aspire to accomplish. Success leaves clues, and every accomplished individual, whether in business, sports, art, or personal growth, follows patterns, habits, and mindsets that can be studied and emulated. The key is not to copy them blindly, but to understand the principles behind their success and apply them consistently in your own life. 30 minutes a day spent studying, learning, or reflecting on the journeys of successful people can be life-changing. Consider an athlete who wants to run faster or jump higher. Watching a world-class sprinter or basketball player is not just inspiring, it is instructive. Every move, every posture, every routine is a lesson in discipline, technique, and focus. By observing these patterns and practicing them, the aspiring athlete accelerates their own growth. Similarly, in life, successful people provide us with a blueprint. Their mindset, daily habits, time management skills, and ability to handle failure offer invaluable lessons if we take the time to study them. This is the power of modeling success. The process begins with awareness. First, identify people who embody the qualities or achievements you desire. This could be someone in your professional field, a mentor, a thought leader, or even a historical figure whose life story resonates with you. Then dedicate time to observe what they do differently. How do they manage their time? What routines have they built? How do they respond to setbacks? Small observations can lead to profound insights. By spending just 30 minutes a day analyzing and learning from their journey, you gradually adopt their strategies and perspectives, transforming them into your own tools for success. Duh. One of the most powerful aspects of modeling success is that it eliminates guesswork. Many of us stumble through life trying strategies without knowing whether they truly work. Watching someone who has already navigated similar challenges shows us what works and what doesn't. This doesn't mean there will be no mistakes or failures in our journey, but it provides a roadmap that significantly reduces wasted effort. It allows us to avoid common pitfalls, adopt proven strategies, and move forward with confidence. Modeling success also teaches resilience and mindset. Behind every achievement lies countless moments of struggle, failure, and perseverance. Observing how successful individuals face setbacks, handle criticism, and maintain focus reveals that success is not a result of talent alone, but of consistent effort, adaptability, and mental strength. Learning these lessons helps us cultivate the same resilience and determination in our own lives. Another benefit of modeling success is the inspiration it provides. It reminds us that what we dream is possible. Seeing someone else overcome obstacles, build habits, and achieve greatness shifts our perspective from I can't to if they can, I can too. Motivation alone is not enough, but combined with action and modeling, it becomes a catalyst for transformation. Ultimately, modeling success is about learning from the best so you can create your own version of greatness. 30 minutes a day of conscious observation, study, and reflection on those who inspire you will slowly but surely influence your habits, mindset, and decisions. Over time, the small daily investment compounds, equipping you with the tools, confidence, and insight needed to rebuild your future. Success is not a secret locked away for a few lucky people. It is a path paved by consistent action, learning, and emulation of those who have gone before us. Your journey becomes less about trial and error and more about deliberate, informed progress toward your dreams. Every action we take has consequences, some immediate and some that unfold slowly over time. One of the most powerful lessons in rebuilding your future is understanding that the small, consistent actions you take today create both instant effects and long-lasting transformations or missions. When we dedicate even just 30 minutes a day to a meaningful activity, learning, exercising, reflecting, or building a skill, we set in motion a ripple effect that touches every area of our life, both now and years into the future. Recognizing this dual impact changes how we approach our daily habits and decisions. The immediate impact of investing 30 minutes daily may not always be dramatic, but it is tangible. For example, consider someone who begins journaling or reflecting for half an hour each day. Within days or weeks, they notice a clarity in thought, a reduction in stress, and a stronger sense of control over their emotion. Their mind feels lighter, decisions become more focused, and their confidence begins to grow. Similarly, someone who commits to a short daily exercise routine experiences immediate boosts in energy, mood, and focus. These small, almost subtle changes in the present moment are important because they provide motivation to continue. When we feel even a glimpse of improvement, it encourages us to keep showing up day after day. But the true power of 30 minutes a day lies in the long-term impact. Just as the ripple from a small stone thrown into a pond expands outward, the effects of consistent effort grow over time. Take the example of reading for 30 minutes daily. At first, the knowledge gained may seem minor, perhaps a few new ideas, a quote that resonates, or a small insight. But over months and years, these tiny daily investments accumulate into a vast reservoir of understanding and wisdom. Marsdom. The person who once struggled to grasp complex concepts becomes articulate, insightful, and capable of solving problems that once seemed impossible. The long-term impact is far greater than the sum of its daily parts. This principle applies to habits, skills, and relationships alike. Learning a new skill for 30 minutes daily may not make you a master overnight, but over time, your proficiency grows exponentially. Spending 30 minutes each day nurturing relationships, checking in, listening, supporting, builds trust, loyalty, and deep emotional bonds that last a lifetime. Even small choices like dedicating half an hour to planning your day, managing finances, or investing in personal growth compound to create a future that reflects intentional living rather than random drift. The beauty of understanding both immediate and long-term impact is that it motivates us to act even when results are not immediately visible. Many people give up too soon because they don't see instant rewards. They underestimate the power of compounded effort and forget that the tiny actions of today lay the foundation for tomorrow. Every 30-minute session, every deliberate action, every conscious choice creates a ripple in your life. The immediate benefits keep you encouraged, while the long-term impact quietly builds a life of depth, resilience, and success. In essence, recognizing the dual impact of your actions transforms your perspective on time and effort. It allows you to appreciate the small wins while trusting that they are building a larger, meaningful outcome. 30 minutes a day may seem insignificant, but when harnessed consistently, it shapes your present, molds your habits, and rewires your future. The journey of rebuilding your life is not about instant miracles. It is about leveraging the immediate and long-term impact of your daily choices to create a life that is abundant, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling. Discipline and consistency are the invisible forces that separate those who dream from those who achieve. Talent, luck, or intelligence may get someone started, but it is the ability to show up day after day, even when motivation fades, that truly rebuilds a future worth living. Many people underestimate the power of small, repeated actions, thinking that success comes from grand gestures or sudden inspiration. Yet the truth is that consistent effort, maintained with discipline, compounds over time into extraordinary results. 30 minutes a day may seem insignificant in the moment, but when repeated consistently, it becomes a cornerstone of transformation. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. It is the quiet inner voice that says, I will show up even if I don't feel like it. Discipline is not about punishment or rigidity. It is about honoring the promises we make to ourselves. Consider someone trying to get in shape. Motivation alone is unreliable. Some days they feel inspired and energized, but other days fatigue, distractions, or doubt threaten to derail them. Discipline is what keeps them moving forward, even on days when the couch is tempting and the world seems to demand their attention elsewhere. It is the commitment to the process rather than waiting for the perfect conditions or perfect mood. Consistency works hand in hand with discipline. One day of effort rarely changes anything, but 30 minutes every day compounds into meaningful progress. Consistency is what turns practice into skill, study into mastery, and small choices into lasting habits. Imagine a musician who practices for just 30 minutes daily. The first few weeks may feel slow and frustrating, but over months, those small disciplined sessions build muscle memory, technical skill, and confidence. Eventually, the musician reaches a level of mastery that would have been impossible without consistent effort. Life works in exactly the same way. Daily disciplined action accumulates into expertise, resilience, and personal growth. Another powerful aspect of discipline and consistency is the confidence it builds. When we know we are capable of showing up for ourselves, no matter the circumstances, we develop trust in our abilities and decisions. This confidence spills into every area of life: work, relationships, personal goals, and even moments of uncertainty. Each small victory reinforces the belief that progress is possible and that setbacks are temporary, not permanent. Discipline and consistency transform ordinary people into extraordinary individuals simply by creating momentum that cannot be easily stopped. Discipline also teaches patience. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, we are often tempted to quit when results are not immediate. But consistent action, even in small increments, is a lesson in delayed rewards. The discipline to persist, despite slow progress or temporary failures, strengthens character and shapes the mindset of someone who understands that long-term success is built on steady effort, not fleeting bursts of activity. Finally, the discipline and consistency remind us that we are responsible for our own growth. Every day, every action, every 30-minute investment in ourselves is a choice. We cannot control external circumstances, but we can control how we respond, how we show up, and how we dedicate our time. By committing to daily discipline and consistency, we reclaim control over our future and create a path toward the life we desire. The transformation is gradual, almost imperceptible at first, but over time it becomes undeniable. A life rebuilt brick by brick, choice by choice, habit by habit. One of the most liberating truths in life is that we are defined not by our circumstances, our past mistakes, or the opinions of others, but by the choices we make each day. Every moment presents a decision to act or to wait, to learn or to ignore, to persevere or to quit. Understanding the power of choice is one of the most important steps in rebuilding your future. Even small choices made consistently and with awareness create momentum that transforms your life over time. Just 30 minutes a day, dedicated to conscious, intentional action, is a reminder that you are never powerless. You always have the ability to shape your own path. Empowerment through choice begins with self-awareness. Too often we drift through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances rather than directing them. We let distractions, habits, and external pressures dictate our actions. But when we pause to recognize that every decision, no matter how small, has an impact, we reclaim control. Choosing to spend 30 minutes reading, reflecting, learning, or exercising is an act of self-empowerment because it reinforces the principle that your time, energy, and attention are yours to invest wisely. Every deliberate choice sends a message to yourself. I am responsible for my life, and I have the power to shape it. Consider someone who feels stuck in their career or personal life. It is easy to blame the world, circumstances, or other people. Yet real transformation begins when they recognize that their future is the result of the choices they make today. Choosing to develop new skills, network intentionally, or improve their mindset, even in small daily increments, creates a ripple effect. Each decision compounds, eventually opening doors that seemed impossible before. The act of choosing is itself empowering because it shifts the focus from what we cannot control to what we can. Another key aspect of empowerment through choice is the understanding that failure is not the opposite of success, but part of the process. Every choice carries risk, but choosing not to act is often the greatest risk of all. By embracing responsibility for our decisions, including mistakes, we gain control over our growth. Every misstep becomes a lesson, every challenge an opportunity, and every conscious decision an investment in a stronger, wiser future. This mindset transforms fear into confidence because we realize that our lives are shaped by intentional action, not by random circumstance. Choice allows us to align our actions with our values. When we are intentional in how we spend our time, energy, and focus, we begin to live a life that reflects who we truly are rather than who we think we should be. This alignment brings clarity, purpose, and peace. Investing 30 minutes a day in activities that matter, whether it is reading, exercising, meditating, or planning, reinforces that alignment and strengthens the habit of intentional living. Over time, the cumulative effect of these daily choices creates a life that feels authentic, fulfilling, and deeply rewarding. Ultimately, empowerment through choice is about recognizing that you are never a victim of life unless you allow yourself to be. You have the ability to take control, to show up consistently, and to make deliberate decisions that move you closer to your goals. Each small choice, compounded over days, months, and years, shapes the trajectory of your life. The future is not a distant dream. It is created moment by moment, decision by decision. And when you dedicate even 30 minutes a day to consciously choosing growth, purpose, and action, you reclaim the most powerful truth of all. Your life is in your hands and you have the power to rebuild it. Transformation is not a sudden event. It is a process, a journey, a series of small, intentional steps that accumulate over time. Many people look at success, personal growth, or achievement and assume it happens overnight. But there is a magic moment when everything clicks into place. In reality, meaningful change is gradual. It is built quietly, invisibly, one choice, one habit, and one action at a time. Understanding that transformation is a process allows us to be patient with ourselves, persistent in our efforts, and resilient in the face of setbacks. 30 minutes a day invested wisely may seem small, but over weeks, months, and years, it becomes the engine of profound change. Consider the analogy of planting a tree. When you plant a sapling, you water it, nourish it, and care for it daily. The first few weeks or months may show little visible growth, and it is tempting to feel discouraged. But beneath the surface, roots are forming, strengthening, and expanding. Over time, those roots support a trunk, branches, and eventually leaves that flourish in the sunlight. Transformation in life works in the same way. The effort you put in today, learning, exercising, reflecting, or improving, is like watering the roots of your future self. The results may not be visible immediately, but they are developing, laying the foundation for a stronger, healthier, and more capable version of you. The process of transformation also teaches patience and humility. We live in a world of instant gratification where success stories are celebrated as if they appeared overnight. Social media reinforces this illusion, showing the highlights without the years of unseen effort behind them. When we accept transformation as a process, we stop comparing our journey to someone else's highlight reel. We learn to appreciate incremental progress, to celebrate small wins, and to understand that the consistent effort of today compounds into the extraordinary outcomes of tomorrow. Another key aspect of transformation as a process is learning to embrace setbacks and failures. Change is rarely linear. There will be days when motivation wanes, obstacles appear, or progress seems to stall. These moments are not signs of defeat. Process. Each challenge, each mistake, each moment of struggle is a teacher, guiding us, shaping us, and preparing us for the next stage of growth. The person who understands this does not give up after a temporary failure. They adjust, learn, and continue moving forward, knowing that transformation is measured over months and years, not hours or days. Transformation also requires consistency. Small, deliberate actions, repeated over time, create the momentum that propels us forward. Just 30 minutes a day may seem insignificant, but when committed to consistently, it leads to habit formation, skill development, and personal growth that are almost unstoppable. Over time, the cumulative effect of these small actions is greater than any single grand effort, because the process of steady improvement builds confidence, resilience, and competence simultaneously. Finally, recognizing that transformation is a process empowers us to take control of our lives. It reminds us that we are never too late to start, and that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Each 30-minute session, each conscious choice, and each act of effort contributes to a larger picture, a life that is rebuilt, strengthened, and aligned with our deepest aspirations. Transformation is not a destination, it is the journey itself. When we embrace the process, we cultivate patience, persistence, and a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that the small, consistent actions of today are quietly shaping the extraordinary life of tomorrow. One of the most transformative forces in life is the power of small wins. We often believe that only major achievements, landing a dream job, reaching a milestone, or accomplishing a huge goal can change our lives. Yet it is the small wins, the daily victories we often overlook, that build momentum, shape confidence, and ultimately determine our success. 30 minutes a day devoted to purposeful action may feel insignificant in the moment, but each small accomplishment creates a ripple effect that compounds over time, creating progress far greater than we could have imagined. Small wins are powerful because they provide immediate feedback. 30 minutes a day may seem insignificant now, but when paired with patience, it becomes a powerful tool that quietly shapes your future, creating long-term results that far exceed what rushed, impulsive efforts could achieve. Patience allows us to trust the process. Many people begin new habits, projects, or personal growth initiatives with enthusiasm, only to abandon them after a few days or weeks when they don't see immediate results. Without patience, the human mind often judges effort by visible outcomes rather than by progress that is happening beneath the surface. For example, someone learning a new language may struggle for months with grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. If they lack patience, they might quit thinking they are failing. But each 30-minute practice session compounds subtly, building fluency over time. The patient person understands that growth is incremental and that the small repeated efforts today are laying the foundation for extraordinary skill tomorrow. Patience also helps us navigate setbacks without losing momentum. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Without patience, setbacks can feel like permanent failures, leading to frustration, discouragement, or giving up entirely. However, when we cultivate patience, we view setbacks as temporary and as part of the learning process. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every difficulty an opportunity to improve. 30 minutes of disciplined effort each day, combined with patience, ensures that temporary obstacles do not derail long-term progress. Instead, they become stepping stones toward mastery and achievement. Moreover, patience strengthens resilience. Growth is rarely linear. There will be days when progress feels slow, when motivation wanes, or when results seem invisible. In these moments, patience is the anchor that prevents us from abandoning our goals. It reminds us that transformation is not about immediate gratification, but about consistent action over time. The ability to stay committed, even when the rewards are not yet visible, is what separates those who achieve lasting change from those who drift through life without direction. Patience also enhances our perspective and decision-making. When we are impatient, we often rush into choices, cut corners, or make impulsive decisions that produce temporary results, but compromise long-term outcomes. Patience allows us to pause, evaluate, and act with intention. It teaches us to value long-term benefits over short-term satisfaction, turning our 30-minute daily investments into deliberate, thoughtful actions that truly move us forward. Finally, patience allows us to appreciate the journey itself. Transformation is not just about the end goal. It is about the daily growth, the lessons learned, and the small victories achieved along the way. By being patient, we recognize the importance of each step, however small, and we develop gratitude for the process of becoming the person we aspire to be, harming the person we aspire to be. Each 30-minute effort, no matter how insignificant it seems at the time, compounds into profound growth over months and years. And it is patience that allows us to witness and honor that progress. In essence, patience is the secret ingredient that turns daily effort into long-term transformation. It enables us to stay consistent, overcome setbacks, make wiser decisions, and celebrate progress along the way. 30 minutes a day invested patiently becomes a force far greater than the sum of its parts, a foundation for growth, resilience, and a future built on deliberate, sustained effort. By embracing patience, we learn to trust ourselves, trust the process, and understand that meaningful change is always worth the wait.